Yo, what's up, chat? How are we doing? I'm here with, was it the 4th episode now, at least, of CK201. Should be a good time. How are we doing today, guys? Just gonna be doing the same old updates. We got the NRC stuff. We got CKL stuff. I got a longer CKL discussion just because, like, there's a lot more games than I expected. I remember just prepping for this stream, and it's like, there's almost 50 games I gotta cover here, so that's gonna be fun. But hey, should be a good time. Should be a good time. I just got back from watching Hendrix and New Mexico State play. Great. It was honestly great. There's a lot of talent actually on New Mexico State, especially. But NMSU is great. NMSU is definitely a very talented team. Hendrix also has some pretty notable players. I was watching, like, I think I forgot the names, but I remember Facade was very solid. Indigo Grass as well. Pretty good, honestly. And it's pretty cool seeing, like, some of these newer teams really start to have some talent there. We'll talk more about it when we get into, like, D6. We might actually start there today, but should be a good time. Should be a good time. Other updates for you guys. So, first of all, related to this stream, no more HelloFresh. The sponsorship ended. I haven't accepted anything else yet, so I just read something in CKL staff chat. I think that was very funny. Oh my god. I'm not gonna say it on stream, but that was hilarious. If you know, you know, because that was good. But hey, I've got some stuff going on. Let's get right into. Oh no, it took the only food. CSULB, yo, CSULB is popping off here. When is the second rate? No, we are never. I don't want to ever talk about that. Yo, when we eventually get into like the making like the CKL iceberg, there's gonna be a point in there where it's like Spicy's Raid Shadow Legends stream, and that's just a horrible idea to think about. I don't want to ever think about it again. That was terrible. That game was actually garbage. I can't believe those were some of the worst 2 hours of my life playing that game. Me also having to try and figure out like fake praise for it. A CKL iceberg would go crazy. Maybe that might be a side thing. Maybe like across maybe later in the year we'll actually think about that. The CKL related streams tier list. Later down the season, I think also. So, quite a few things. Also, and I guess question of the day, we're going to start that up because I saw it in the Hendrix Twitch channel, and I'm really curious now what Mario Kart course looks the most like your college campus. Apparently, Hendrix just looks like anything with a bunch of roundabouts. For some reason, the only thing I could think of was Paris. So, yeah, that's your question of the day, I guess. Whatever track is the most like a college campus, go ahead, feel free to drop it in. While we get that going, I'm gonna start talking some NRC stuff. Get started here. Baby Park. Dear God, Arizona's Baby Park. Wow, that is crazy. Sunset what? Yeah, Sunset or Calamari makes more sense, just because like desert area. So I'm glad you're saying those instead of like dry. That'd be kind of sad. Moo Moo Meadows, Moo Moo Meadows, solid one there. There's like a bunch of colleges who will claim Moo Moo Meadows. It's kind of funny. Okay, where were we at last time? I was just okay. CSULB is Piranha Plant Cove. Okay, the nautical theme plus lots of stairs. Oh, okay. I actually kind of like that. I like that a lot. But that's a good one. That's a good one. I should have asked my own college back when I played that question. What was closest to Moravians? I'll get back to you on that. It might actually be like, like a more urban TR, because a bunch of Moravians like aesthetic was just being old. TR kind of fits that vibe. So, I'd probably not actually Thwomp Ruins. I'll ask the Moravian people that later. But yeah. Great answers, guys. Thank you for filling in for that question. At some point, I'll actually pin that as an actual question of the day. Oh, wow. Yeah, you has a castle it's known for. That's insane. So they would actually be like a Bowser's Castle. That's pretty cool. Boo Lake? Yeah, I guess. TM, unironically, actually, now that I think about it. Boo Lake, I would like Boo Lake if we were closer to like water, but Twisted actually makes a lot of sense because there's like, I feel like every college campus has like the ghost story vibe, but there is like, because of Moravian's just being old, Twisted actually kind of makes a lot of sense there. Kind of helps out that at one point that was like one of our main tracks. Don't say that now because Moravian absolutely hates TM at this point, but Drexel is, oh, okay. Berlin, okay, Berlin for Drexel. Interesting. Cars in the City. You could argue the same for like Moonview at certain times in Philadelphia. It's Berlin in the day, Moonview at night, maybe. Moonview is clearly not a testament towards the crime rate in Philadelphia, but hey, I survived when I was in Philadelphia last weekend for Broad Street Blower / Broad Street Bash. Hey. Oh, query. No, you breaking the buildings? Nah, would never imagine that. I don't know. In the moment another Philadelphia team wins like any of the big four sporting championships, there's probably going to be a bomb car somewhere. Had we won the Super Bowl in those recent years, oh yeah, there probably would have been a bomb car. Had we won that World Series, maybe. Had the Sixers gotten past the second round, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. There would be a bomb car in Philly. If it's gonna be anywhere, it would be Philadelphia. I say that as a Pennsylvania native. Okay, actually, let's get over to NRC stuff then. So NRC, quite interesting things with fours over the past few days. FFA, I think, goes into playoffs this weekend, so nothing to really cover there until the week after. So next week we'll be talking about what's happening with FFA playoffs, as well as the fours playoff picture, I guess. Sorry, I cannot speak today. Oklahoma, St. Clair, GSU. Very close matchup between second and third, SCC and GSU. Only a 5-point difference here, but Oklahoma in fours is a very strong team just because like they already have a ton of depth, and now when you only highlight they're really like core members now, Oklahoma becomes like a very strong team in this division here, and you can see that now with Rhino with the 114, Rumble with the 102, Golden 82, Taika 789. I'm talking fast because I'm trying to get all of this done in 2 hours, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do so, but we're going to try our best. In St. Clair, it's very similar to what we saw last year in CKL, where they will have 2 or 3 amazing players, and then everyone else, it's like they're kind of just fighting it off there. But Mumu and Bonkers are insane here. Do I want to play Lethal Company for? I think I might. It depends on if I have commentary on Friday night. I canned up for I say canned up for commentary. That's so funny. I signed up for the Collegiate Splatoon circuit. So if I get selected, I might not be able to, but if I am, we'll see. I'll let you know if I'm able to or not, because right now my Friday is iffy, but we'll see. Hopefully I'm able to at some point, because like I've been wanting to join in all these like game stuff, and I just haven't been able to do anything. It's so sad. And then GSU, Josh K with the 127, it's amazing stuff here. Intel the 83, Gawk 46, Brave 45. Unfortunately losing out to SCC because of Mumu and Bonkers going off. Dream also putting in solid numbers, and the bot putting in 15 points. So yeah, D11 champs, Mumu in top 5. Yeah, shout out to all those teams that won in MKU recently. I really want to shout out to the ones with a lot of collegiate presence. So that we're talking like U-Turn was a big one there, MK College, MK Scholars, also some other teams that had some representation that includes like Pirate Hackers, United Brothers. I'm probably missing a few other teams here, but shout out to all of them for winning MK Universal this past season, and really all the other teams that had a great run this season. Volt Switch had an insane season, clawing their way into playoffs and then making it into finals. Grounded Gaming, my team, great stuff as well. Fell short in semis, but hey, great stuff. So really happy to see a lot of the collegiate players really playing well, and then like even teams like MK University still putting up work up in like the mid div now. So collegiate W's all around, whether you win or not. And oh yeah, gotta shout out to Interstellar Clan as well. They're trying to bit of an off season for them, but hey, they're still putting up great stuff, and they're great job everyone here in the collegiate scene. Week 3 D5 in fours, you've got Maryland, HCC, and WSU. Maryland is proving to be just dominant like everything here, and I know this is the lowest div of fours, but jeez, Clax 630 Kaikai ASN. Yeah, Maryland is just a force to be reckoned with in D5 fours of NRC. And HCC and WSU, you can see they're for newer teams really starting to develop there into their own. But they were kind of close with each other there, but this really wasn't able to touch Maryland at this point. Unfortunate circumstance here with Kutztown, UGA, and UCSD in fours. I know Kutztown had to take a double forfeit, unfortunately, because they were coming straight from Philadelphia to play in this, and then just, yeah, that's a shame. We hate to see that happen, but it happens. And we also hate to see a bot team, but it also happens. Nebraska against UAH against West Georgia, which is represented by CPUs. Nebraska and UAH, this was an electric. A +6 difference here. Marcoco, Ouija, Beefy, Zoo, all putting up over 90 and barely edging out a win over UAH, Green, Creo, Nothing, Corti. Just an insane stuff overall from both these teams here. And like, these are two contenders, I think, in this division of fours. I want to say it's D3, right? I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's D3. I should know this. This is my division. But overall, great stuff here. I really want to see them in like another matchup. I don't remember the schedule off the top of my head, but that'd be great there. The Moravian Morgan FIU is pure cinema. If you know, you know, because I was talking about this a lot the day after it happened, because I'm still stunned about this. So Moravian 335, Morgan 327, FIU 322. This was crazy. So FIU was winning like the majority of races. It was actually wild. I think they had they were up by like at least 40 on at least us at Moravian, but going into like race 9, and then they were up going into the last race. FIU was first, Morgan was second, Moravian third. Moravian, we got top 2, 5, 8, I think there, and like amazing. Do you miss thoughts on UNL? Oh, my bad, Zoo. We'll get right back to you. No worries. Nebraska UAH, this was an incredible matchup just from the looks of it here. It's a +6 difference, and I think these two teams are incredibly even. And really, it shows the depth of these two teams, but especially in Nebraska, where you have like Marcoco, Ouija, BB, and Zoo all dropping 90. And really, all of these players are insanely good there, so I'm excited there to see what's going to happen. We'll talk more about Nebraska as we go into CKL because, there's a table I really want to talk about there. But Nebraska overall has been having a really good fall, so happy for them. Back to this. Yeah, Forest has been great. I feel like just from an outsider perspective and also from a playing perspective. I was in this matchup here. FIU had the lead going into the last race and just has a really rough Grumble Volcano. Morgan, there's one accidental moment where one of Zay's teammates, I think, blue shells him after the moment he gets in the first place, and that was just unfortunate. And then Moravian just clutches it out, and we kind of had a rough start. Angle was really struggling at the beginning, but then just we clutched up somehow. You'd have to like watch all the stats for this, watch the VOD on Zay's end, because this was wild. One of the greatest fours matches you will ever see. We're going to go into Arizona State 2, Long Beach, and then a bot team instead of UCSD 2. I love how the bots are Japanese. So, another close one between the two teams that play. AS2 and Long Beach here. You still get Long Beach. Raspada, Zane, Miniature, Cody Cool, all putting up really solid numbers. Raspada especially with the 140 and Zane with the 117. It's so close. Yeah, it's so close. And then, but look, Arizona State too. This team is insane. Like Conk Kids, Drugos, Kijin, DJ, everyone there putting up solid numbers, and obviously it's different when you play against like a bot team. But jeez, these games are so close in NRC. Like, it's a shame we don't really stream these very often, or we don't get a lot of coverage, because there's some good stuff happening here. I'm excited to see how the rest of that season plays out. The Wiggler bot. No, these bots are a menace this semester. Like, you can talk about this with anyone, especially over in CKL, where you are seeing like the 5v6, and those bots are doing putting in work. And these bot teams in NRC are just like, whoa, okay. And lastly, Morgan 2, Oklahoma City Community College, and Sun there. So that would be what, Sun Devils or Arizona State too. So great work, really, from all these teams here. OCCC and Sun, only a 5-point difference there. And this was an OCCC without Toby. And then Morgan State too. There's some great players here that I'm really excited to see progress. So like Mega and Ninja especially. Those are two names I remember thinking like, oh, watch them develop in a couple seasons. And then like in the 6v6, Morgan's going to be back to like the big depth there. The bots embracing the spirit of Kusa is a wild thing to say. Like, that's an absolutely wild thing to say, but like, that really was. But yeah, there are bots that just destroy teams, and it's just like, why? Why? And yeah, look at this, the King Boo bot. Unless the player isn't King Boo, I'm gonna be so upset. But these players are insane, and the bots are just putting in a lot of work. It's actually really cool to see. Yeah, the King Boo was a calm. Mega and Ninja are really good. Yeah. Like, those are two names I'm looking at. Like, yeah, I think that's going to be something good. Mega was cooking. I remember while watching a bit of Morgan State, so we'll get into that later. Let's talk now CKL stuff. NRC4s, really just the last wrap up there. There's some really interesting matchups. If you get notifications at all for like any of these matches, I recommend tuning in, because not only does it give you depth and information onto like the CKL side of things, but you also do get some great gameplay just to watch. And like 4s kind of offers a different dynamic than 6v6. So, and really, because you have to really fight off two teams. And the dynamic there and like the track selections, the slightly different strategy is actually pretty cool to watch in person. Let's move on 6v6. Thank you everyone who's in chat, by the way. Love y'all. Let's start D6 and work our way up. Because why not here? Because there's a few things we gotta discuss. There's a interesting matchups that have happened in the past few days. New Mexico State is cooking. Like, this is legitimately a very solid team. It's a bit hard to see the table, but NMSU 663, John Brown 321. NMSU, one of those teams that's immediately stood out as a contender here in Division 6. Toff 170, jeez, Mr. H5 113, Lily 102, Savage 98, Sweet Tea 92, Mickle 88, and then over in JBU, Inari 75, Moon 72, Baby Mario 64, Cat 48. Dalt's 37 and Kicks 25. The story really is NMSU, who's just been incredible. I watched them earlier against Hendrix, and really, we'll talk more about that, but NMSU is very fundamentally sound. Like, they could legitimately have, like NMSU is legitimately a team, I think, that can compete at D5 if they were in there right now. They are that solid. They could maybe put up a fight against certain D4 teams as well. So, NMSU, be careful here. That's a team that you really want to watch out for. Anyways, while we do that, then let's move over to John Brown again against Buena Vista. Buena Vista, another one of those teams which has really stood out lately as one of the early contenders here. So the Beaver 634, JBU 350, a plus 284 difference here. BVU has ENC with the 145, G4A 120, Parker 119, Dead Zone 108, Joseph 75, Obi Star 67, and then JBU, Inari 103, Moon 76, Dalt 53, Cat 50, Hawk 40, Kicks 28. Care Bears table. That's great to see, actually. You don't see that very often. I love the creativity here we have in our community. But BVU, similar story to New Mexico State. It's a team with a lot of promise. You see a lot of potential in terms of front running and just a lot of overall solid fundamental play. When you look at the low divisions of CKL, the big thing that's going to stand out is your actual just basic fundamentals. Making sure you're staying on the track, how tight are you taking your lines, and really just the overall driving. Because like the team play will develop over time. The communication will also be one of those things that grows, but it all really comes through your driving, even just basic item play. Those will win you games, and you see that a lot with the teams that are doing well right now. JBU start off to a rough start so far, but there's still plenty of time here, and I'm hoping they stay for the rest of this academic year at the bare minimum, because I think there's a lot of potential with this team, and especially when you have players like Inari already putting up numbers. I think there's definitely some ways to go here, and I would love to see them stick around for the long haul. NMSU, Auburn. .548, NMSU, Auburn, 436, Toffee, 149, Mr. H5, 120, Savage, 91, Sweet Tea, 84, Cherry Cola, 76, Baby Mario Bot, 28. Wow, it's a 5v6. Yeah, there, that's crazy. And then Auburn, Jamker, 89, Sandwich, 84, Wednesday, 71, Gurple, 68, Dota, 66, Ori Bird, 58. So, winning a 5v6, this is not the first 5v6 win in this season, which is kind of crazy to think about, but New Mexico State is just such a solid team. Toffee, early contender for MVP here in Division 6. Maybe early contender for, like, as Riffy said, if we had a fantasy, dang, Toffee would have been one of those high value picks, putting up massive numbers here in this division. Really, it's New Mexico State's like fundamentals in driving, which is just winning them games. I remember watching them against Hendrix, and we'll talk about that when we get to it, but it's like that team is just very solid overall. And like when you have such a great foundation to build off, you're gonna be in for a good time. Auburn is another one of the more solid teams, I think, here. They've already had a couple wins under their belts, but New Mexico State is just that good. At least at this level, it's really showing off for them. Would be really curious to see how they play against like actually UNM, because that'd be really cool. Give me the New Mexico State New Mexico rivalry matchup when the season ends. We'll do it as like a show match before like if neither team does like syllabus week or anything like that. I think that'd be really cool. But overall, Auburn's very solid still. I'm interested to see how some of these players develop and really go on, because like Auburn is one of those teams, it's one of the many Alabama teams, which is crazy because we have Bama, UAH, UNA is here as well through Golden Mains. So I think there's definitely a lot of potential here for Auburn. Just gotta get some access to those resources, and I think they can be a very threatening team in the near future, especially with some of these players here. Jamker and Sandwich, players to watch out for immediately. New Mexico State Coe College. Coe College, another team that's actually been putting up work despite the fact of what their record shows here, because NMSU does win 584 to 400. But Coe College, we'll talk about them. Dawn 109, Max 79, John 76, Sand 58, Wolf 50, Popo 28. A lot of solid names here. Dawn was one of those names I remember seeing last week. It's like, okay, potential here. And like, yeah, Coe College, I think it's gonna be one of those teams that I think grows over the course of the season, and you really start to see how they result like later against like some of the other teams in their division. I'm really excited to see what they do. But again, NMSU just fundamentally sound. Toffee and Mr. H5 especially putting up insane work, big numbers on that team. And really, you know, and this team is deeper also, because like Savage Dog, Mickle, Sweet Tea, Cherry Cola all putting in good numbers there. It's one thing to have hard carries, but have depth, that's really important, especially at this level. JBU Co. Now, Coe College, what was this? Because I remember having this match highlighted last week. I was like, okay, this is a match I really want to see. And then what the heck was this? From Coe College. Coe College wins 589 to 395. Dawn 171, John 114, Max 109, Wolf 71, Sand 66, Ranch 58, and JBU Inari 102, Moon 86, Dalt 65, Kicks 55, Skull 51, Cat 36. Coe College coming out of nowhere with a massive win. Dawn with like huge numbers there. Like this is gonna change up the Indiv charts kind of nicely. We're gonna talk more about that. I think this one's updated. So D6 has been a wild ride there. John Brown has some players that are really starting to develop into their own. And Coe College, if they keep this momentum up, I'm really excited to see what they got the rest of the way. Because look, 141 is insane. And having 3 players score 100 this soon, you'll love to see it from Coe College. And JBU also just putting up great stuff. Buena Vista, Auburn, 555, 429, the plus 126 here for BVU. 3 players scoring 100, NC 138, G4A 108, Parker 101, Dead Zone 83, Joseph 64, Obi Star 61, and then Auburn utilizing a couple subs, it looks like. Jamker 111, Ori Bird 78, Gerpel 65, Wednesday 63, Sandwich 51, Donut 45, Caliber 20. Good players have been the name of the game here, really. BVU is just very solid overall. It's really between BVU and New Mexico State. That's how the early season feels like. Auburn is a contender, I think, as well, like in that like next tier. But it really does feel like BVU and NMSU have just been controlling the division so far. And when you have players like BVU has, like NCG4A and Parker, putting up consistent points, yeah, it's hard to stop them. As even as talented as Auburn is, with players like Jamker leading the way. Now, this is a close matchup here. Coe College, Auburn. Auburn 510, Coe College 474. Auburn, you don't have Jamker playing, but Wednesday dropping to 105, Gerpel 96, Marvivo 92, Donut 78, Ori Bird 72, Caliber 67, and from Coe 154 from Don, Max 91, John 89, Wolf 52, Popo 48, and San with the 40. Now, Auburn obviously doesn't have their best player here in Jamker, and Sandwich didn't play either, it looks like. But still a big win for them to get, really, you want to win these games to really control your own destiny going into like the middle weeks later into the season when you go into the playoff race. So that's great to have. And Coe College, Dawn is really stepping up. They are one of those names I'm really looking forward to. And like, they're a early contender for first team of CKL D6. Maybe if we do an all-star format of something in the near future, that'd be an all-star player for sure here. And Coe College has a lot of talent, it looks like, so far. And then this just happened. Coe College, not Coe, New Mexico State Hendrix. I caught this matchup live, actually. At least the second half and on. NMSU 670, Hendrix 314, Toffee 158, Mr. H5 146, Savage 113, Sweet Tea 96, Cherry 87, Mickle 70. Then from Hendrix, Facade 90, Castle 60, Indigo 53, Radio 47, Lakia 38, Anna 26. It was really funny watching this from my perspective because Hendrix is very similar to like old school Moravian when I was watching, because I'm like, it down to the fact of having certain players play the same character as like we did, as well as picking certain tracks. So like, oh my god, they unironically picked MKS. Like, my Moravian used to do that way back then, and it was like such a throwback seeing that from Hendrix. So it was kind of cool watching that, and Hendrix has some potential there as well. Facade was one of those names I was watching. Yeah, putting up solid work. But New Mexico State is just such a phenomenal team. Like, there, you can see the coordination from there and really start to come through and develop over the course of this game. They top sixth Hendrix twice, at least twice. I don't know if they did it anymore in the first half, but the top six at least twice there to win by 356. No easy feat. NMSU is a great program so far, and I'm really excited to see what they got going forward. Quick look into the D6 chart here. I don't think everything is completed yet because, yeah, NMSU Hendrix was not. Oh no, it is added now. Thank you, D6 admins. So just waiting on Hendrix and JBU. Oh, Hendrix JBU is actually kind of fun. I'm really excited for that one. I don't remember when that was, but I want to watch that one. If teams stream that, that'd be awesome. It is crazy. Some amazing results here. You're looking at NMSU and BVU. They're set to play next week. So this coming week, I think they rescheduled for next Thursday on the 30th. If there's any way we can get that matchup streamed, that would be awesome, because that is legitimately one of the top matchups, I think, especially in the lower levels. We have two like undefeated teams with insane differentials playing next week to keep the undefeated season alive. Like, that would be so cool to see. I hope there's a chance you can get that on primetime, because that would be phenomenal. That would actually be one of the best matches I think we can see this soon, especially just to give like the other teams like a chance to Really make something happen here. That'd be so cool. And then Auburn beating Co was actually massive as well because they had the early tiebreaker on them and also a game up. So Auburn's looking comfortable so far as like that third seed. But really, NMSU and BVU running away. Co College, especially with players like Dawn dropping that with this kind of indivs, you never know with this program. And look at this. Toffee, Dawn, NC, Mr. H5, Jamker, and General for Arms. Great stuff here. Oh my god, BVU and New Mexico State is going to be such a good matchup. Like, pencil that in. If you are able to watch that, that's going to be an amazing matchup to watch. But overall, really solid stuff from D6. The storyline is starting to cement itself with NMSU and BVU, the Aggies and the Beavers, and then Auburn kind of filling in that third. But really, there's still 3 weeks of the season left to go. Co-College is kind of hot right now. John Brown and Hendricks, I think, are looking for their first win of the season as well. I think there's some potential on both sides, so I'm excited to see what happens the rest of the way over in D6. Let's move over into D5. Now, I know the D5 table isn't fully done yet, so not going to talk about too much. But there's some fun D5 matchups. Idaho is looking very good. I'm going to butcher this name so bad. Exiltia 106, AFK 99, Zephyri 84, Hood 81, Dare 78, Light 77, 525 win, 525 459 over Milwaukee. Milwaukee's still great though. Shadow 152, Royce 80, Iwo 68, Donk at 63, Ambi at 52, Pesky 44. So any team, Milwaukee's always going to be like really close into it because Shadow's just going to put up such insane numbers. But Idaho is really showing some like great results this soon here. So it's been awesome, honestly, seeing Idaho at this point because like they're playing insanely well. There's a lot of depth here. They have some names that will stick out, but like that's a very solid team overall. Meanwhile, Milwaukee, it's Shadow, and then they're leading the way, and then the rest of the players are coming up. They're also playing some good, solid supports, backing them up. But Idaho is just like it's starting to become a well-oiled machine, and you'll see it more in these results as we talk about it. As immediately as they say that they lose to EKU, but where Eastern Kentucky 526 to Idaho 453. Mel with the 115, Foxfire 112, Capri 91, Spooshy 83, Keenan 71, Nihill 54, and then Idaho AFK 104, Hood 100, Zephyri 84, Light 62, Dare 53, Shasta 50. So, assuming that the first player I mentioned in Idaho in the last table is a consistent member, then Idaho didn't have full lineup, but like EKU getting some big wins here. There's some solid potential I remember seeing because there's definitely a core between like their top players on EKU, and Eastern Kentucky has kind of just put some great results, changed some good results together. So this win was big, especially because like whenever this table gets updated or the fixtures get updated, D5 is looking relatively close. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be really close to call because like it feels like every week there's a new team or a different team that's like really stepping up. Last time it was the Roadrunners at a UTSA. Now it's like EKU and UI. I'm interested to see what happens the rest of the season here. Solid result from UI with that apparently maybe one of their best players, but EKU getting a much needed win here, putting themselves in great position the rest of the way. The inside lane against ASU. Well, we talked about this last time. Okay, good. It just had to be updated. UI inside lane. This is very similar to the Milwaukee table. Funny enough, where there is a bike player, a player on like inside drifting bike, who like leads the way, and then UI just wins through depth. It's kind of funny how that works. But inside lane and UI, a close result, 511 to 473. Idaho has AFK 105, Ziltia 98, Hood 93, Dare 78, Zephyr 71, Light 66, and from the inside lane of Kutztown, Sunset 130, Ocean 99, Gonk 76, Main 74. That's Lixkey 47 and Sakura 47. That's old tape. This is also an old table. I was gonna say, like, it's dated the 20th. Why would you do this to me, guys? I was gonna say this one felt old. Like, week 2, guys. Come on, I need y'all to put the match and the date here too, because I'm like, this felt very familiar. But yeah, I love it. I love these tables. I have to check because I know D5. Some of those fixtures were here and some were not. Yeah, because I know some of them were in, some were not. So we're gonna talk about them as if they were anyway. Because like UI are Idaho and UTSA have been pretty competitive, and to see this plus 40 as well is actually really insane. Because actually, did this team play UTSA? I didn't cover it at least last week. Because I know there's a bunch of tables I didn't cover last week as well because they just weren't there. So I had a record of what ones I kept track of, but I lost my notes, so oops. UTSA has a couple losses now because I think last week they were undefeated. At least at the time of recording, they were undefeated. So now there's a few different things now. So that's actually pretty interesting to see. At least a couple losses now, and UTSA is still a very solid team. Only a -40 against Idaho. Great stuff. So the 110. From AFK on Idaho, they're playing well. UI is deep. I didn't think about this actually, but there's quite a few players who are putting up pretty good numbers on Idaho, and it doesn't really matter who's in the lineup, but they're very like well even. It feels like no matter who they have, it reminds me kind of like what Oklahoma was in like that first season, where there's not really any like weak names, and they're always able to have like players consistently able to put up results, which is kind of cool. And UTSA, kind of reminiscent of what Texas Unified was, where you have like a couple higher level players for this division, Muffin and Unlucky Pro, kind of leading the way, and then just wasn't able to put the pieces together because Idaho's depth really starting to win out, and in the lower divisions, depth really does matter a ton there. So love that here for Idaho. Big result for them. Can't wait for this to get updated because like the D5 results to get updated because that's gonna be fun. This was a great war. Milwaukee Kutztown 2, because the inside lane was a phenomenal match. Oh. Though I hope I don't have. I forgot if I have delay on. I don't think I have delay on today, but like, that's unfortunate, Bob. It's okay. It's okay. So, Milwaukee Kutztown 2 was such a good matchup. Like, genuinely, this came down to the wire. I think it was like +6 or something. It was a single-digit difference going into race 12, and then Milwaukee wins out. Yeah, it was +2 from Milwaukee going into race 12, and they get a +8 on. I forgot what it was. I know race 11 was Cooper Cape. Race 12. I'm blanking on what race 12. Grumble. I think it was Volcano. So, interesting results here. Shadow with the 163, Royce 91. I want to say that's kills with the 69, Pesky 63, Ambient 56, Iowa 55, and then KIL, Sunset 143, Ocean 85, Song 84, Bowser 68, Main 58, Sakura 49. When this rematch happens, I kind of want this to be a primetime one as well because they're so similar in structure. It's kind of awesome because Shadow and Sunset both are leading the way in terms of points and scoring on their teams respectively, and both doing it on inside drift bikes is so cool because it's kind of like a difference between them in a way as well, because like Shadow is notorious for playing on tracks. It's like tracks that aren't necessarily bike friendly, up DK Mountain for one, and Sunset kind of already had that, like had the tour experience, the tour like expertise, not necessarily by playing Mario Kart Tour, but just being like a specialist on a lot of those tracks, and a lot of those tracks do favor the bike. So And even though Sunset just like transitioned over to Inside Drift in like recent months, they're putting up great numbers, and that's awesome. And Song was one of those players who I remember hearing it from KL is new, and to see them drop an 84 right away, awesome there. And then Ocean, Bowser, Main, Sakura all putting up solid work there. And Milwaukee, pieces came together for Milwaukee, and it was great, yeah. Was a +2 for Milwaukee going into race 12, okay. Yeah, it was Grumble. I do remember it being on Grumble race 12. It's okay, Lemons, we're not going into D1 for a while, so we will have to review it. Unless I don't. There's a chance I might not be able to. I'm trying to get everything done by 10 Eastern, so we'll see what happens. Oh, the screenshots are sideways. UTSA, EKU. UTSA back on top here with some... Wow, there's some depth on UTSA right now. Majinaki 119, Minik 110, Muffin Man 104, Fire Lion 82, Kachondo, Kachondo 76, Unlucky Pro 74, 565 to 419. Big win here for UTSA, the Roadrunners. And EKU, Capri 98, Melbell 93, Easy 96. Oh my god, that's... Oh, I remember him. Yeah, Mike such escape with the 92, that's huge. Foxfire 60, Spoosh 40, and Keenan 36. Love that here. I'm personally happy seeing Easy 96 Escape Savant play. That's one of my teammates originally from Grounded Gaming. I don't know if he's going to be playing much longer with us, but love to see him still active in the game. But overall, UTSA, great result here. After the loss against Idaho, they're able to beat down EKU with a 146 win, and really showing that there's a lot of depth on UTSA, and like that's a team you're looking at now. I think it's them and Idaho so far, which are like the big contenders, but you never know. Looking at Arizona State too, looking at Inside Lane, looking at Milwaukee, looking at Eastern Kentucky. Some teams here that you don't want to knock down yet, because I think whenever D5 gets updated, that's going to be really fun to watch there and see what happens to the fixtures and results. I won't touch this because nearly too much. I won't touch the results yet, the fixtures, because that's all for staff to do. Rest of the staff to do, the admins. I don't want to mess anything up for them, so who did that? Moving on to D4 results. Also trying to see stuff. Hello, Zay. How we doing today? Got talking some collegiate Mario Kart action. D4 stuff now. Where were we at? Where did we leave off? I think Utah FIU I didn't cover last week. This was after I streamed. Okay. Utah FIU Gold. I know FIU Gold was one of the teams that was really difficult to seed. Utah similarly, but Utah with a good win here. 511 to 473, a +38 win now. Squidward Community College is the shadow underdog. Yeah, I would agree. Squidward Community College. That's a great team, honestly. Love them. So, anyway, from here in D4, Utah, 149 from Snowy, Bombs 100, Biscuit 70, Sparkle 69, Grim 58, Switch 56, Joss 9, and then FIU Gold, Botan 116, Soda 85, Soda 85, Evan 75, Heart 72, Sandre also 72, and Danny 53. Some great results here from FIU Gold. There's some great depth really from both these teams here. FIU Gold, I think, is a team with a lot of like deceptive talents here, because there's no like huge superstar really on FIU Gold. They're kind of like built kind of how the original FIU was, where it's like there's maybe some couple talented players, but they're really good at like the support level and just being deep. And that's what happens here with FIU Gold. The mindset is why they're so solid. Utah is the opposite here. We have Snowy leading the way, but Bombs is a great second option. Love to hear that from Utah. And Utah putting up some numbers now, putting up some solid results. Looking to see what they do, make some noise the rest of the season, because that's going to be really fun to see how they do the rest of the way here. And love to see the results as well, so love that here. Florida, Michigan too. I caught this. I caught a lot of this matchup. We did speak a bit about NRC. I spent like 15 minutes on it, so if you want to recap on any of it, or if you have any questions about NRC coverage, feel free to let me know, and we'll talk about it again. But I'm also just kind of speed running like a lot of this right now, and then like I'll come back to other stuff later, just because there's like between D4, D2, and 1, there's a lot to talk about as well, and I'm trying to get all of this done by 10 o'clock Eastern, so we'll see. If you have any questions, though, please let me know, and I'll talk about it again. Hobby in Michigan too was insane. So Hobby with the 159, that's great. Max is such a strong second option. I know we gassed up Max for good reason, because Max is such a great player here. Motion, Woofle, Monkey, Drizzy, all putting in solid work. Motion deserves a lot of praise here with an 81 as well. And in Michigan, there's some solid numbers here. Ryan 106, Cat 104, SFB 77, Shark 58, Issa Miso 26, Krim in one race with a 7, and the bot put up 60 points. Like, the bot put up 60 points. There's something about these bots in the collegiate scene in this fall, because like, what is with these bots putting up numbers? Like, dang. This is a very good result for Michigan in a 5v6. Like, this is actually very good for them, and this is against Florida with both Hobby and Max, so there's not many excuses here. I think Florida still wins this in the 6v6, but it's definitely within in the double-digit range. So, good result here for both these teams. Excited to see what we got, especially for Florida, who's looking to be really strong going forward. This was such a good matchup, agreed. Yeah, watch party that. There's gotta be more watch parties of like swear, because like D4, 5, and 6 have some absolutely amazing matchups. Like, oh, so good. Speaking of amazing matches, UCSD 2, Michigan 2. Like, man, like the UCSD and Michigan matches, no matter if it's the first team, no matter if it's the second team, these will always hit because it's so good. Then I guarantee UCSD 2 doesn't have Lemon Scrap playing, but it's like still Round with the 143, AC with the 96, IBA with the 85, Vinko 66, Rates with the 55, 53, and then Michigan Cat 139, Ryan 117, SFB 82, a Shark 57, Issa Misa 46, Zeronic 45. A 12-point difference between these two teams. Had a couple things gone either way, it'd be different. That's awesome. We love this, I guess, kind of rivalry between these two schools. This is still growing strong. Because, yeah, Drizzy is the GOAT. Yeah, Drizzy's great. Like, honestly, these players are insane now, so loving to see the talent from like all these teams at this point, so love that. UCSD 2 is looking to be a really solid team in Division 4. Michigan 2 also holding their own very well. So these two teams have been incredibly solid with a lot of talent on both these sides, and there's some of the more exciting teams, I think, to watch out for, and like, great stuff here. Want to see this matchup again later down the line. We get to talk Long Beach now. Long Beach, FIU, 555, 429, a plus 126 win for California State University Long Beach. Or Spada 143, Watt 100, Zane Witter 97, Sir Platinum 87, Kusao 65, Miniature with the 63, and then FIU Botan with the 121, Evan Miko 79, Soda Drinker 64, Sandre 61, Silver 55, Vidmaster, I think that's what it says, 49. Amazing stuff and from CSULB, who's looking to be one of the more strong teams in this division. They have such good names here. You have Raspada, you have Watt, and you have Zane Witter. And I know we talked a lot about Zane and Raspada before him, but Watt's really come into their own lately. So Love to see this over here from CSULB, a team who I think definitely has a lot of potential in this semester. I think to make some noise towards the second half. I mean, like week 4 or 5, they're not only going to be pushing for a playoff spot, I think, but they might be looking to like cause some upsets there. And if you want a dark horse team to maybe win it all, I think Long Beach is one of those. Because really, there's a lot of these teams in D4 have a great case to win it all. And that's awesome to hear. FIU also, another loss, unfortunately for them, but they're putting up great stuff. There's some solid depth here, and it's really reminiscent now of like the original, like last fall FIU. Milkshake puts up great numbers. Ted Bear will also put up like certain stuff. You have Botan leading that way, and then like usually it's like Evan Miko or some other player doing the same thing over with FIU Gold. But now it's a matter of like they just couldn't keep up with CSULB, who just has so much there. And yeah, Go Beach with a lot of stuff there. Great stuff from CSULB, and we're looking at this team with some high hopes going in for the rest of the season. Jeez, there's a lot of tables. Arizona, FIU Gold, another great matchup here because Arizona, oh my gosh, I remember hearing like kind of as a joke, like yeah, Six was upset that another player is taking their season 3 record for individual scoring across all divisions, and then responds with this. 559, 425 for UA, so great win here, plus 134 for Arizona. 175, Fitchy 129, Panic 72, Jahan 72, Yoshi 63, Queso 48, and FIU Gold, Botan 110, Fitmesh 72, Heart 67, Amigo 61, Spike 60, Sansray 55. The story of this is all UA. When you have Six playing like that, when you have Fitchy playing like that, Arizona is a strong team, especially in this division. A contender for sure, I think, as one of the top teams to really look out for, especially because like Six is running away with the Indivs, I think, at this point. And when you're putting up numbers like 175, like it's hard not to, but a phenomenal player here. So love to see that from them, and let's see how they do this. Can they keep up this average? Probably, honestly, because like when you have Fitchy playing as that number 2 option, and like just let Six run, or let Six get first. Yeah, that's gonna happen here. And UA just feeds on that momentum there, and like Arizona's such a strong team as a result. And FIU Gold still a solid result for them, but yeah, it's just a matter of like they're running into teams who have that like not just one amazing player, but usually 2, and that's really what's kicking it in the favor of like UA. Michigan 2, Iona. UM2 is putting up some solid results this entire season. The plus 74 win, 529 to 455. You have Ryan with the 131, Cat 109, AJ 90, LaShark 80, SFB 66, Cream 53. Then from Iona, Bomberry Jones 103, Code 12 with the 96, Yoshi 90 with the 93, K-Bus 62, Jakey 55, Wario bot, I'm assuming 46. So I'm assuming that's a bot. Let me quick check. Yeah, it's a bot. So I can't believe Queso is French also. So Michigan 2 with some great results here and just capitalizing on some much needed wins and really having a great start to their season. 131 and 109 respectively from Ryan and Kat. These are 2 of the best players we have from Michigan's program, and I'm really excited to see how they develop over time. Wondering if they're looking into maybe going up into the first team in the future, depending on how the other students are doing. But like, it's great stuff. Michigan 2 is so solid, so not a surprise to see them win this out here in Iona. We haven't gone to talk much about them, but I know without the core that they had last couple seasons, it's much different now, but they're holding their own. Bomberry Jones filling that top player role for them, still dropping those big triple digits. Yoshi 90 with the solid score, Code 12 also with the solid scores. Iona's in the developing phase right now, kind of just trying to make the most out of the season and really just come back maybe next stronger either in the second half or next, but like still solid results from there. This was a war. This was close. Just watching this table was insane. Arizona against Florida, 500 to 484. These are two of the favorites of this division. Two early favorites in this division, at least. UA winning by 16, though. 6 with the 151. Pitchy 128, Yoshi 63, Jahan 60, Panic 58, Queso 40, and then from Florida, Hobby 112, Max 107, Wolfo 96, Jersey 70, Motion 53, Monkey 46. It came down to normally when I talk about depth, but I think it was a battle of the duos at this point, and yeah, Florida did have like the stronger mid-pack presence, but Six and Fitchy, holy wins up there. Drop 151 and 128 was massive. And really leading the way and limiting Hobby to a 112 is not easy. And Max also only 107. Like, you know how capable those two players are. So Arizona winning this was absolutely insane. This is a matchup to watch for again if this happens. And if this happens down the line, especially if this happens in a playoff situation, really want to see what happens with Arizona and Florida in the future. We are still going fast because we're only in D4. Jeez. Utah, Michigan 2. What I've been saying, yeah, guys, these matches have been insane. Like D4, 5, and 6, like those close matches have been close. 10-point difference, 497 to 487 goes to Utah here. It's like, jeez, close matchup after close matchup. Snowy 165, Grim 86, Biscuit 76, Switch 68, Sparkles 53, Joss 49, and then for Michigan 2. Cat 112, Ryan 93, Momeat 93, AJ 78, 68 from SFB, and Shark 43. It was a matter of Snowy just did Snowy things and just led the way, really, it feels like here. But the depth from Utah, letting Snowy get that result was so clutch from them. And Utah is really coming into their own, I think, this season. Wondering what's going to happen the rest of the way for Michigan 2. Man, that team has a lot of depth on them. Like, to see Cat, Ryan, Momi all score over 90 there and just barely lose out to Utah. This is a team that's really scary. Okay, so I'm gonna drop that points. You guys are funny as heck. So, like, this team is gonna be, both these teams are gonna be scary here because it's gonna be hard to limit Snowy, like, down the line, especially. And Michigan, too, has some players who just have that depth and that talent there to just really control like 2 through 4. It's like that's gonna be awesome to see these teams like down the line. Like legitimately an amazing matchup for these teams later on. And then FIU Gold has a big win over Iona, 594 to 390. 159 from Botan, Silverheart 103, Evan Miko 86, Soul Spike 84, Sansray 81, Soda Drinker 81 as well. Then from Iona, Bomberry Jones 90, Yoshi 73, Gaybus 73, Jakey 64, Code 12 with 53, and the Baby Luigi CPU with 37. But great stuff really from FIU. Unfortunate for Iona having to play a 5v6, but really, FIU Gold has been playing insanely well. They might not show in the results, but there's a lot of potential with that team. And Botan is really emerging as one of these like star players to watch for. And the rest of FIU is just really solid overall and just controls the helps. And really, they control the game. That's really just how they are as a team. So it's not a surprise to see them almost get entirely top 6. Bomberry Jones clutching up at 3rd place for Iona. Things change with Iona if they have a full 6, but I still think FIU Gold wins this in the end of the day. Long Beach, Utah. This was a matchup I was excited to see, and table is... Okay, I guess the table's going to be coming up at some point, but like... Great stuff here. I'm praying there's no DCs here that wasn't accounted for, but that would be a nightmare if there is any DCs. So here's my camera again. Oops. Snowy 150. Biscuit 84, Grim 70, Joss 62, Bombs 53, Switch 52. From Long Beach, for Spada 142, Zane 106, Mini 81, Cody Koo 79, Watt 58, and then Kusao 47. It's a close win from CSULB, but a very important one here. To see players like Raspada and Zane drop these numbers, that would make sense. But really, the depth of Long Beach is really showing here. You're watching how Mini and Kodiku putting up like solid mid-pack numbers, Watt putting up the solid numbers, as well as Kusao. Just doing what they had to do to win this out and keeping it close. Raspada and Snowy looked like they were neck and neck there, so that was incredible. And Snowy does great stuff as well. Utah putting up one heck of a fight, really, with not just Snowy but Biscuit playing very solid. Grim and Joss coming in clutch there in the mid spots, as well as Bombs and Switch. A few things go differently, then this is a different war, but big win overall for CSULB. No DCs, thank God. But like great stuff overall from CSULB, who's become a pretty solid team to look forward to this season. Excited to see what they got going the rest of the way. But also, yeah, Utah's such a good team as well. I want to see the chart after this because that's insane. Thank you for table. Thank you for table, making my life easier. But yeah, great stuff. Yeah, great stuff from these two teams. I'm excited to see this matchup again. Potentially as a playoff matchup because, like, oh man, this is such a good. D4 is such a good division. Like, jeez. Long Beach and UCSD2. Now, this was something special from UCSD2. Brown 131, Lemon 88, AC 80, IBA 76, Nubby 68, Yeah 59, and then from Long Beach, Raspada 109, Watt 101, Zane 90, Mini 76, Kusao 65, Doggle 32, Starplo with a 9. Only a 20-point win here for UCSD2, but you take those 20-point wins and it's so good here from UCSD2 to win like this and to have like them pop off, because such a needed win here and really cement themselves as one of the strong teams in this division, because this division is stacked. Because you look at the talent that CSULB has between Raspada, Watt, Zane, and the rest of that team, there's a lot of good names. UCSD2 also has a lot of depth on their end, and Brown and Lemons are so strong, especially in this division. We'll take a look at the table actually, like for the division, because yeah, this one is updated. This is awesome. Yeah, Long Beach, Arizona, and Utah are pretty much neck and neck, and the wild card race is looking really close as well. Long Beach currently has a division over Arizona because of their win in that tiebreaker, but that could change going into the next into the next rematch. So, though that's gonna be close there, and Utah is coming up close because Utah's had some good wins as well. Gonna be interesting to see what happens the rest of the way for them. And then Conference B has been insane. Also, first of all, Michigan has not played like a team that's only many DCs on CSULB's end. Okay, good to know. Okay, that's gonna be interesting for that rematch if that happens in playoffs. Michigan has not played like a one-win team. Like, don't get that twisted. No, you can't start a race with 10. That's so unfortunate. Yeah, Michigan has not played like a one-win team. They're looking to be like they can make a giant run into the rest of in the second half. Florida is solid. UCSD2 is undefeated so far, but they're looking strong for good reason. I want to see what happens the rest of the way with that team, because that's a contender. In fact, it's a very West Coast heavy division, it looks like so far, with you have Cali, Arizona, Utah, Cali again. Okay, it's even-ish, but like Michigan, I consider them like Midwest-ish, but East anyway. Florida, Southeast, Iota, New York, and Florida International, Southeast as well. So Yeah, UCSD is a great team. CSULB is also great. This division is so good. This is such a good division to watch. I'm gonna take a look into what's the rest of the... What's this week looking like? UCSD, FIU Gold. I think the first teams are playing each other this week as well. Or no, they were supposed to play, but stuff happened. Iona, Arizona. Michigan, CSULB will be good. Florida, Utah is important. This one has wildcard implications down the line. Utah, UCSD. Oh, that's gonna be good. Oh, the Florida matchup. That's fun. I hope this one can be streamed. That'd be cool. Arizona, Michigan. That's good. CSU, LB, Iona. Okay, great matchups this week as well. I think my favorite ones I'm looking at right now are the Florida matchup, as well as Florida, Utah. So Florida this week is really important to watch, but Utah, UCSD is going to be really good. UCSD, FIU is good, and it's hard to say no against CSULB, who's like a really strong team to watch. Really exciting. Waiting to see what happens. Let's move on to D3. I'm on page. We gotta start cooking up some stuff here. Okay, D3 I think has less tables, so that makes sense then. RITUAH. It was kind of cool talking about this table. Sorry. It was kind of cool talking about this with Green and Gabe, because they are both teammates of mine. Have I seen it? Yeah, I saw it immediately from the... What's it called? From the screenshot. It's like such a... It was so cool seeing this. I saw a link. I saw a Shy Guy. I was like, let's go CSULB. It reminds me a lot of when like my first college team really started. So that was awesome. And like, I personally like that a lot. The Sonic Colors, yeah. Go to OSD. Because I'd get more water to just listen to it. So here's the thing. RIT is such a fun team to root for this season because there's so much potential with this team. 510 to 474 is a close win for RIT. You have Danny with the 131, Gabe with the 104, Meat 79, Frenzy 71, Tom Diamond 68, Cloudy 57. From UAH, you got Green with the 100, Creo 94, Space 94, Ali Serve, I'm sorry I butchered that, 72, Drossia 68, Short 46. This is insane. Danny and Gabe are amazing players. Like, I'm lucky I picked up Gabe, like, for Grounded Gaming, but if Danny isn't already on, like, free agents watch, they should be, because, wow, amazing stuff from these players here. And RIT is such a great team, because you don't often see, like, a new team just, like, come up, and, like, we don't know too much about them, because, yes, Gabe played 200, and it's a really good time trialer, but, like, it's awesome seeing this team, like, kind of come out of nowhere, really rise up in, like, a very short time. So, I do know that Tennessee is playing their matches right now, yeah. So that's good enough. Give me updates on the UT matches as they happen, because I always love to hear that. And then UAH, Green and Creo and Space, that's such a strong duo. Trio, I'm sorry. And that's awesome to see. That they're all playing really well at this point, which is great to see it for them. Green especially has grown so much as a player. And Creo's always been good. Space has been always underrated. I think UAH is a team that's going to be competitive for a while here. I'm interested to see how they do. NC State, New Mexico. Gabe's profile pictures at Oval. Yeah, it's true. NC State 532 to New Mexico 452. So plus 80 for NC State. Lyra 155, Green Skull 96, Prism 86, J 81, It's a Me 69, over Bubble 45, and then UNN Yo 106, G 72 96, B 95, Ice 89, Meat 39, Delego 27. NC State's early contender. one of the best teams so far, and you see why. There's just a great supporting cast and a great player up at the top of the leaderboard. NC State has the formula, and they're going to be a strong team the rest of the way. I'm really hyped to see this team come in from like the NRC side of things, playing in like the FFA and the fours, and then like coming in the 66, really hitting the ground running. And I love to see that from this team. New Mexico still dusting off the cobwebs, but you can tell they've definitely done that already now, because like plus only an 80 loss against NC State is not easy. And Yellow, G72, Bean, their trio is there now. That's a team with a lot of potential to make noise in the second half. So, okay, Tennessee +2 after Royal, good to know. So great stuff there. So New Mexico's another team. I want to see what happens in the second half, because there's some notables on there that's like, we're waiting to see what happens, because they had a great season last season, but now it's a matter of like, how much have they gotten better? And I think they're starting to get their footing again. Now this was a table. Nebraska, NC State. This is a potential championship matchup in the future. So Nebraska wins by 20, 504 to 480. GBR/UNLs, whatever this team is at this point. Either way, go Nebraska. Crazy 116, Marcoco 89, Ouija 87, Mop 77, T-Bugs 70, Beefy 65, and then NC State Lyra 127, J 102, Greensicle 90, Prism 84, Itami 48, and Overbubble 29. Nebraska's amazing here. NC State is also amazing. This is a matchup that you wanted to save and really watch, because like these two teams are the best, I think, in D3. Early contenders here, and you see why. Crazy is putting up amazing numbers. Marcoco has taken that like role of like being like the second option and like enabling the rest of their players to run, and that's so cool, because like Marcoco is capable of scoring a ton of points, but to see Marcoco kind of take like that, like there, that was awesome. Oh my, okay, GBR +34 after race 2. Whoa, what a change up! Oh my gosh. If anyone is streaming that, let me know and we'll raid them afterwards, or if Tennessee is streaming their matches, let me know so I can raid them after the stream ends, probably closer to the next hour. And then look at this. NC State, great numbers. You knew that this is very similar to the strategy they've been going through, and it just happened that Nebraska was a better team on this day. I am excited for this matchup to happen in the future, because like, with these two teams, they're close. This could have gone either way, it feels like. And it doesn't happen often where you have teams that are evenly matched up against each other. And I think both these teams are going to be phenomenal to watch there. Crazy coming into their own, I would agree. It's a matter now of seeing, like... I've seen Marcoco, I think, really helped Crazy get to that level. And Crazy is like, we knew the talent was there, but Crazy, yeah, really putting in all of that work. And I think they're one of the players, like, definitely in contention, like, most improved, maybe even MVP. I don't know, honestly, here, because that's a talented team. I don't know if D3 was updated in their table. It was not yet, as far as at this time of recording, it was not updated, so don't have that yet, but D3 is looking to shape up to be really fun with these two teams. And like, you never know what could happen down the line, but these two teams are starting to show something up. UAH, Golden Mains. 574 to 410 plus 164 for the Chargers out of Alabama, Huntsville. Green with the 154, Creo 103, Ali XIRV 91, Space 87, Shorts 71, Drossia 68, and then from GM, Beta Brett 95, Abaddon 74, Meow Rio 73, C Baint 19, 66, YTK 54, Elements Eclipse 48. Ghost Marcoco and Crazy are all streaming. Thank you for that. Okay. I'll probably raid. Well, I know I have Marcoco followed at least, so I might raid Marcoco, but I know that Tennessee is playing both matches, so I'll probably raid Ghost actually, now I think about it. We'll see later down the line anyway. But great stuff here. UAH, you knew this was coming for them. A great result here. They had the talent to do so. Green is somehow one of those underrated players in this league. And then Prio is always putting in this amazing work as well. And really, there's some talent on UAH. Like, this is a team where it's like they've been D3 every season so far, but for good reason. They're just quietly improving. And while their divisions haven't changed, they're definitely one of those teams that have been steadily making their rise and being one of the best teams, I think, over the course of this CKL history. So that's great. Oh, let's go, Lil Bob. You doing it tonight. Love to hear it. Love to hear it. And then Golden Mains doesn't have all their best players here, but Beta Brett's still putting in insane work as well. And really, Golden Mains has some depth on them that I think is going to be playing into their favor the rest of the way. So, not their night that night, but hey, UAH still a great result, and Golden Mains have a lot to look forward to. Unfortunately, West Georgia did forfeit against New Mexico, but they had a close results against the Golden Mains. GM against UWG, 505 to 479, a plus 26 win for the Golden Main combination team. Nebraska plus 22 after Yoshi Circuit, good to know. Beta Brett 129, Meow Rio 107, Air Hockey 90, Jason C 79, Abaddon 69, and then Element Eclipse 31, and then from West Georgia, Wisp 129, Stunter 124, Adir 80, Scuba 51, The Bot 49, and H101 46. West Georgia wins this, I think, with 6. That's crazy to think about, but West Georgia has so much talent on this team, and I know gathering was a significant issue for this team going in, but like, which is unfortunate, but you've seen what happened with teams like this before. FIU had issues in the fall of 2023, wins in the spring. Alabama in fall of 2023 struggles to gather. Look what happens. They win in spring 2024. I'm not saying West Georgia is going to do the same thing, but there's talent. Wisp, Stunter, Adir especially. There's some players to really watch out for. And Golden Mains also having some of these names. Air Hockey's an insane player. Beta Brett has been playing well in the collegiate side of things. Both these teams have a lot to look forward to. Excited to see what happens the rest of the way. Been saying that all night, but there's a lot of talent across all these levels. Let's go on to D2. I forget if D2 is updated, but let's check. D2 was updated, and I know D1 was updated as well. How many tables do I look at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 tables. UGA Morgan. Now this was deceptively close, honestly. After like the first 6, that's when Georgia started to run away a bit, but this was close like in the first half. So Georgia 529, Morgan 455, plus 74 for the Bulldogs out of UGA. Taka 125, Ray 113, Luxy 101, Shy Guy 78, Dynamo 76, Dude 36. Then for Morgan, Zay 145, Nitro 83, Mega MZ 72, Ronin 70, Ghost 47, Iman 38. Some solid results from both sides here. I remember watching it from the Georgia end of things, and that team play on Georgia is just so phenomenal. Like, the communication especially is just, it's great to see. It's definitely like, it's always been their strongest suit. The team play on Georgia has always been there, and I know people will say they were underseeded. I know, for me at least, it was a matter of, are they going to have 6 every week? Because like, I didn't want to throw them in D1 and just have C5v6s all the time, but this Georgia team is something special. One of the true contenders after this one. Okay, Tennessee really making some waves now. That first GP was insane. Okay, so Taka has stepped into that like top scoring role, but there's also a lot of praise has to go to Stingray. Ray has become like such a strong player in like over the course of 2024. It's actually amazing to see the kind of growth insane. Because like Luxie we knew was good. Dynamo was always been solid and a really great core member. Shy Guy had potential and is really making it their own. And Dude is another good player there. Spruce isn't able to play this season, but Ray really comes out as one of these amazing players. And you saw them like have like US tops and like Squeaky, but like Ray at this point is really stepping into that role of like what Spoon had in terms of not just the team play into like the leadership, like the unofficial leadership and like the call leading, but also that point scoring there, because between them and Taka, that's insane. It reminds me a lot of UGA, of the PSP originally from last fall, back when they had Bean playing on that team. So love that for them. And then Morgan, yep, we know Zay's gonna put up these MVP-esque numbers. Nitro's gonna put up solid work as well. Mega is coming into their own. Mega's a really solid player I remember seeing. Ronin's always been solid. The Ghost had a rough weekend, it seems, in terms of matches. I remember they played this very shortly after Fours, which was... They had a rough one in Fours as well, and Iman also. Bit of a rougher game, but it's like... Morgan had a lot of potential, though. Kind of make an upset here. It just happened in the second half where Georgia just pulls away, does Georgia things. But Georgia's looking really strong, so... No surprise to see them at that point. Virginia Tech, UWO. Hold on, let me make sure that was... Okay, that was a forfeit, unfortunately. Oh, yeah, we'll talk about that. VT, 572, UWO, 412, a plus 160 win for Virginia Tech. The Hokies, 148 from Ice. Steamy, 104. Vuv, 24 with the 97. Cynical, 94. Diggs, 71. Cool Guy, 58. And then from UWO, 112 from Domi, Ironcraft 83, Eugene 69, Mochi 66, Boss 57, and then Asian 25. VT is deep. They had a rough week 1, but they're coming back here in week 2 with a vengeance, and like, geez, they're looking good. When you have Ice playing like that, it's hard to stop them. Cynical didn't even have the best game. 4th on their team? Unheard of. But Steamy is such an X factor for that team. And Vuv coming in now with that kind of performance, love to see it from the side of Virginia Tech. Cool Guy also putting up some solid work on their side as well, rounding out that team. And UWO, they've had ups and downs, but they're a talented team this entire time here. 112 from Domi. And then it just happened that Ironcraft and Eugene just got shut down pretty much by Virginia Tech. And Domi was also having a relatively lower scoring game, but like Virginia Tech is just that good. UWO is a very solid team here, expected to do well. But Virginia Tech, just the better team that day with a lot of strong results. No surprise. This was unfortunate. Maryland, Michigan State, they played this. They were up until like race 9, and then Michigan State quits. So, unfortunate circumstances there, but because Maryland was up by a lot going into like the last GP, which is, you hate to see it happen, but because it does mess up with the indivs and all that. And I think there's a bit of a, I think there was a rule change coming in for this one, so... Yeah, there was a rule change here. We'll talk about that down the line. But Maryland beats Michigan State. Georgia-Michigan State was close, or than expected, considering Georgia had 12 tracks. They actually got all the tracks they wanted, which is insane. Ray with the 134, Taka 111, Dynamo 94, Luxie 86, Shy Guy 62, Dude 47, results in a 534 point total from UGA and a plus 84 win over Michigan State. Michigan State had a 114 from Don't Fawn with the 83, Zach with the 72, Templar 69, Astral 64, and Fish with the 48. Overall, solid stuff from that team. Just seeing Michigan State, like, yeah, it's hard for them this week because they did play Georgia and Maryland, which were the 2 best teams in that division at that point, and I think the 2 best teams in that division period right now, at least. So to see them like struggle at this it's hard to see, but there's a lot of talent on Michigan State. Nova wasn't playing notably, so. But Don't is always putting up these solid numbers, like amazing numbers, really, and as one of the best players in this division. I still think Michigan State's underrated, making some names still. Wondering what what's gonna do. But the story is Georgia, who is looking like an early contender going into this next few weeks. I want to see what Georgia does here and see what happens the rest of that way. UWO, Morgan, 559, 425 plus 134 win for UWO. This was an interesting table here because, oh my god, Domi is not MVPing. Ironcraft 117, Eugene 116, Domi 114, Mochi 95, Boss 71, Asian 46, different MSU, Zay 129, Mega 80, Ghost 64, ZZ 54, Ronin 52, Iron Man 46. Now I know Nitro I think had to leave for like RA duties or something like that, which is unfortunate for Morgan, but Morgan still, they're using this as a developmental season, and I think that's great. I honestly think that Morgan did get the short end of the stick because I legitimately thought there was like 6 teams. Morgan and Michigan State kind of got the short end of the stick because I do feel like that, yeah, even if NC State gets up into this, I don't think they're as competitive. I think Morgan, Michigan State, and NC State would have all had like the same exact thing happen to them, but that's a story for another day. That's a discussion for another time. But at this point, UWL, we're at the point now where Domi isn't the only significant threat, which is awesome. Eugene and Ironcraft have grown so much as players since last season. And they're now leading the way here to 2, 3, 4. Like, that's a triple 110 a plus from that trio. And Mochi with the 95 is absolutely insane as well. Boss with the 71 and Asian right at 46, rounding out that squad. And then Morgan also Morgan put up some actually pretty good results without that Nitro here. So, no, Ghost Streams died. Dang it. But really, that's some awesome stuff from both these teams. So, love to see that from this group. So, both these teams have a lot to look forward to this season. Excited to see what happens as we approach the halfway point. And lastly, from D2, Virginia Tech, Alabama, 544 to 440. For VT 104 win. You got Ice 131, Steamy 105, Cynical 91, Bub 24 for the 85, Cool Guy 67, Hyper Evil Man 65. Then from Bama, Bradjo 110, Sales 99, Jet 91, Reform 53, PFP 44, and Mystery HD 43. So unfortunate stuff from Bama. Jay isn't able to play much, it seems like, so, but they're still holding their own here, and Brad and Sales have really come into their own. Jet has improved a lot in a short time. So, Bama is definitely a solid team here, but Virginia Tech is starting to just like establish themselves as one of those early contenders again. They had a rough week 1, but this week 2, it feels like a very different VT. Because now Steamy, Ice, and Cynical are all firing on all cylinders. Vub 24 is a great 4th option they've been looking for. Cool Guy and Hyper Evil Man rounding out that squad. Really great stuff from Virginia Tech overall. The Hokies are looking good heading into week 3. Alabama also having some great stuff the rest of the season, I think. You look at the D2 table, Maryland is undefeated for good reason. That's a phenomenal team. VT has stormed back in now to take a wildcard spot early in the season, but UWO is tied with them. The tiebreaker does go to VT at this moment, though, because of the head-to-head win. And Michigan State does not behind, only a game back from a tiebreaker spot or a wildcard spot. UCLA waiting on tables for them, obviously, but it's a matter of seeing like how did they do, because that's a team with a lot of interesting things to look forward to into their results. Alabama 1-2 so far, but that could change soon. Morgan might be looking to pull some upsets off. I think they got a great matchup this weekend too. And Georgia's playing really strong at this point as well. Playoff picture a little too early to call because I think a lot of these teams can make some noise in the second half. I'll get into that next week. Aside from the fact that I forget when the UCLA matches got rescheduled. What do we got? Oh god, Alabama, Michigan State. Got a little bit of the rivalry matchup there, and I think that's a very even matchup too right now. So I'm so pumped for that one. I think that's gonna be really good. Oh dang, this is a good week for D2. Georgia, Maryland. That's one of the highlights of I think this weekend. or whenever they play. Geez, both those teams are good. Both those teams, I think, are some of the favorites also right now. UCLA, UWO is going to be good. Oh, okay, Tennessee back up now. Morgan State, Virginia Tech, also putting up some solid stuff there. I think that's actually going to be a deceptively close matchup. And then you got UWO, Alabama. That should be good, actually. UCLA, Michigan State, I think, is actually going to be pretty good. Maryland, Morgan, another good matchup there. VT, Georgia's going to be good. Oh, wow. Yeah, so the big ones to watch for, Georgia, Maryland, Georgia, VT. Those have heavy playoff implications. Alabama, Michigan State, that's a classic rivalry matchup, so love to see that. D2's got some stuff cooking today, or this weekend. Let's go on to D1. Wrap up stream with here. A few tables to look at, because D1 had a lot of interesting things to talk about. Waterloo, Oklahoma. 540 to 444, a plus 96 win for Waterloo. This was on stream, on prime time. Iona 134, Ingite 128, Pickley 102, Boss 97, Spoons 56, Mordai 23. And then Oklahoma, Golden 91, Rhino 86, Rumble 78, Taika 68, Dutch 68, Marul 53. No Smiley from Oklahoma this week, but either way, Waterloo probably wins this regardless. So it just goes to show you how strong this Waterloo core is. Iona, Ingite, Pickley, Boss, almost all dropping 100 here. And this was with Oklahoma getting a big race at one point near in the last GP as well to cut the lead. But then Oklahoma just couldn't sustain the momentum. And while they did control those like 5 through 8 spots, that top 4 from Waterloo was just so much damage there. That's a plus 96 win. One of the hottest teams to look for. I think Waterloo's going to be definitely one of those names. It's like, yeah, maybe a contender, maybe a pick to win this season outright in D1. But it feels like anyone can beat anyone in D1. Kutztown, the Golden Teddies beat Waterloo 521 to 463, and this is with a lot of Waterloo's best lineup, pretty much too. Tech 139, Bapu 97, Bo 94, Steepy in 67, Anomaly 64, Dawn 60. And then Waterloo 118 from Ingite, Iona 98, Pickley 92, Bossoshi 73, Jimbits 49, Spoons 33. Great stuff here. Tech doing what Technical does. One of the best players in this league for a reason, and it's like you can honestly make the argument that Tech is still the best player in this league, and I wouldn't doubt you, because look at that, always putting up consistent results for Kutztown. And then Bapu Bo putting up those great numbers as well, almost hitting 100. And then Stephen Anomaly Dawn just putting up good results. That's exactly what they need to do in this matchup, and they were pivotal in letting Kutztown win over Waterloo. And really, there has to be a lot said for Kutztown keeping Ingite to 118, Iona to less than 100, Pickley and Boshoshi to 92 and 73 respectively. Oh, last GP for Tennessee and Nebraska coming down to the wire, looks like, with LeBob reporting that Tennessee's +4 after 8. Let's try to see if we can catch the end of that later then. And now, yeah, but Kutztown, the Golden Teddies, people were writing them off. I was one of them. Maybe they might not be a playoff team because of how deep Division 1 is. But Kutztown is looking to be the shut down that narrative. And they've always been a great regular season team. If they can make it back in the playoffs, who knows what's the story. Six more tables then. I'm sorry, women, we have to talk about ASU UNI. Arizona State 593, UNI 391 plus 202 win for Arizona State. Cairo 128, Slick 126, Drugels 100, Bonanza 95, Henry 74, Keegan 70, and from UNI, Lemons 96, 301 Archie 71, Rain 71, Icy 67, Accident 62, Bendon 24. So UNI didn't have all their best players here either, but UNI is still a very deep team, and it was just an off day for them, I would imagine. Or ASU just played amazing, which you can tell by this table. 3 people hitting over 100, Bonanza almost also hitting 100, and Cairo Slick, that duo is crazy up there. Drugels and Bonanza also playing insanely well on that side. And Henry and Keegan rounding out that squad. And really, ASU limited UNI. And that's not easy to do because UNI is deep. So the fact that Arizona State was able to do that to Northern Iowa, that's impressive. It's very impressive, not an easy feat to do. Great stuff from ASU as they go on into the second half of the season. UNI still looking for that first win in Division 1, but with that talent on that team, I imagine it's going to happen sooner than they think. We talk about how close Division 1 is. Waterloo 496, Michigan 488. Inkite 129, Pickley 108, Iona 97, Boss 68, Jimbits 53, Spoons 41. And then from Michigan, Freddy/id/Crow 116, Short 99, Mexican 73, Whooper 73, C2D2 65, Sean 62. And I won't lie to you guys, this one's very close. Like, look at this. Boss was kept to less than 68. Mexican and Whooper were kept in the 70s. This is a tight matchup. And I think this one could have gone either way. Iota was kept to less than 100 as well. Pickley stepping up big. And then Short also with that 99 was insane. But really, shouts out C2D2 and Sean 65 and 62 respectively, keeping it close across the board. This is one of the biggest matchups, I think, going into the rest of the season. And it's a potential playoff matchup as well. So, like, you were not playing Mario Party. That's so real. That's so real. But, like, honestly, this matchup is amazing here. So, Waterloo and Michigan are 2 of the best teams here, and like you could maybe make the argument this would be finals this season. These teams are good. Wanting to see what happens the rest of the way here, because you never know with this league. I honestly think that either of these teams could win it all. Kutztown UNI. Now this was a table here as well. No Bapu for this one. Okay, Nebraska plus 22 after 9. Okay. This was close. Now, no Bapu for Kutztown did hurt them. But, yeah, look at that from UNI. Let's talk more about UNI first. Okay, we got Lemons there with the 137, Accent with 96, Archie 83, Rain 73, Icy 59, Benson 41. And Kutztown, Technical 132, Bo 81, Steeping 81, Dawn 75, Anomaly 67, MC 59, a +6 win for KU. A lot of credit has to go to UNI here for making this as close as it was. I want to hear a story of this matchup whenever that comes out, because like Lemons with the 137 there, we expected to see amazing numbers, but the beat Tech was incredible. And then Accent and Archie really stepping up there. Rain, Icy, Bendon also putting in insane work as well. No bugs here, but UNI still great, solid stuff. And in Kutztown, no Bapu, but Technical still doing great stuff. Steepian really stepping up as well, and especially Dawn, Anomaly, and MC keeping it close, doing what they had to do to win this matchup in a very close game here, without Bapu, without bugs on either side. So 2 of the core members aren't on this team. 1 core member of each team wasn't there, but close result. Very close result indeed. So as we go into the second half, UNI could have pulled that one out, and that would be such an upset. It would have been a huge win and really sent a lot of shockwaves into the rest of the D1, because Kutztown needed this win, because you're at the point now with how close D1 is Every win matters now, and we're only in week 2. Going into week 3 is going to be electric. We'll probably end up coming back to this in a few seconds. Watch. And 13. I was gonna say this was last week. But yeah, look, finally table for that. Nice. This one also. Michigan and then UNI also finally get to play. 556 to 428 in favor of Michigan. Crow with 124, Short 102, Whooper 89, Mexican 87, C2D2 83, McChicken 71, and then holy UNI Lemons 144, Archie 77, Accent 65, IC 56, Bendit 53, Rain 33. Oh my gosh, Lemons is putting up numbers here. MVP another stacked lobby. Like, that's insane here. Insanity from them, but it just wasn't enough because Michigan's just too deep. Nebraska plus 18 after 10. 2 races left to go in Nebraska, Tennessee. We'll probably wait on that table to come out then, and then we'll wrap up stream. But really great stuff from Michigan. Just they're deep. That's exactly what you have to see from Michigan to win out these matches. And then from UNI, it's unfortunate there because Archie accident and Icy Bend and Rain just kind of got stomped out by the Michigan depth. And like Lemons can run up there, but Michigan's just so good at like preying on teams who just after like the hard carry there because Michigan's just so deep, and that's exactly why they're able to win these matchups. There, why they're so strong. Talk about and then Oklahoma with 2 big wins. 501 to 483 over Arizona State, a plus 18 win. There is just something with Oklahoma against Cairo-led teams, I swear. 104 from Golden, 102 from Rhino, Rumble 99, Dutch 78, Taika 66, and Clover 52. From ASU, 115 from Slick and Cairo. And then Drugal 78, Henry 70, Bonanza 58, and Keegan 47. Great stuff overall from these teams. But in the end there, Oklahoma, in almost an Oklahoma special, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 9, 11 there, are able to clutch out the win by the skin of their teeth here. And really, the solid work. Golden, Rhino, Rumble is become a trio to be feared in D1. A lot of depth here from the side of Oklahoma, which has made them a very strong team here. And at ASU, Keegan helping out this team with the 47, Bonanza 58, Henry 70, Drugal 78. All great support pieces in the Cairo and Slick. That 115 each. Almost was able to pull it out, but they really, in a rematch down the line, I don't think they played against each other again though, but in a potential rematch, this would be down to the wire, I think. I would have to check D1 actually. Let's check. Are they in the same div? No, they're not. Okay. They're not in the same conference, but geez, if this was replayed, this could have gone either way here. And they end up Oklahoma, much needed win, big result for them, but not as big as this one. Oklahoma 533, FIU 451. There's a lot to talk about here, but I think there's something to be said. Whichever team is like looked at as like the super team going into the start of a season is just, it's a curse, I swear. It was Texas Unified in the fall of 2023, Michigan in spring 2024, and now FIU in fall 2024. You look at this one, it's an 82 win for Oklahoma. This is a significant win. This is a very important win for Oklahoma here. 114 from Rhino, Rumble 109, Gold at 82, Taika 77, Dutch 77, Clover 74, and then from FIU, Green 128, Gank 90, Milk 76, Super 56, Cable / Tedber 52, and Nick 49. This is classic Oklahoma. This is reminiscent of what we saw in like previous years, like last 2 seasons with the team. where we just see them like gather with these like wins, and no one is dropping less than 74 at all. So love that here from the side of Oklahoma. A statement win at this point in this season, and that's a great result from that squad who's like was kind of looking for that big win, and they got it here against FIU. And FIU kind of stumbling out after winning Syllabus Week. We thought they were going to run away with it with the power of Green, Gank, Milk, and that chemistry, especially between Milk, Milkshake, Cape, Ted Bear, Nick. No MD Rex here. Ended up playing with Super instead, but still, really solid group from FIU. This is a strong FIU lineup. But Oklahoma coming out there, winning on this day. Amazing stuff from them as we look into the D1 standings. Kutztown is leading so far with a tiebreaker over Waterloo. Oklahoma is close as well. And then FIU, while 1 and 2 right now, that could change. That could change. Nebraska is up 12 with 1 to go. Okay, good to know on BC8. And in Conference B, UCSD and Michigan, both up there so far, 2-0, then 1-1. ASU is 1 and 2, and UNI 0-4, but that could change as well. So a couple matches have yet to be played. I know FIU, UCSD, they're trying to reschedule that. Same with UCSD, Michigan, because there was just some hiccups, I think, in terms of like scheduling for either team there, which is unfortunate, but it happens. But let's look into what matches are big going into this week. UCSD Kutztown. This is always a good matchup. Depth from UCSD and Kutztown's like top players are always insane to go up against each other, and I think that's going to be a classic potentially here, especially with a lot of implications. Those two teams are currently top of their div, top of their conference. Maybe a potential playoff implication. Kutztown, Michigan's always a classic as well, because geez, great matchups between those two teams. Oklahoma, UCSD is always close usually too. While UCSD always tends to win out, Oklahoma comes very close a lot. FIU UNI is going to be good, I think. Waterloo, ASU, maybe upset alert here, honestly. A lot of good matchups coming this week, so really hope we get to see a lot of good like collegiate MK action in this coming up for this weekend. So I think the great thing here is that it really does feel even between a lot of these teams, especially in D1. It really does feel like a lot of these players can just dang. Okay, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I didn't hear about that until just now, so that's unfortunate to hear about that from Rex, but understandable. But hey, still, so Super fills into that role then. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. Yeah, I understand. I am aware that for some reason my stream is like delayed, I guess, which is weird because I don't have stream delay on today, which is weird. That is like as delayed as it is for everyone else. Hope my net isn't like destroyed, but we're waiting more so now on Nebraska Tennessee final result to come in. I think that's gonna be what wraps up stream today. But it really does. It feels very even across a lot of divisions, which is awesome to see that from like really. Nebraska wins plus 18. Huge result now. It's insane. Winning on Roma Vanti. Okay. They're trying to make table ace up there. I'm waiting on this table, and then that's going to be the last thing we see. Oh, they're making table maybe after SQ, because I know Tip of the Ice World is playing together, so that's probably why. It might not come right away, but great job there. I gotta see, where is... I forget what, Ghosts, oh, there it is, Ghost MK. Nice. Hold on, let me quick follow this. Oh, dang. Offline, no. Dropping them a follow anyway. Oh, Mark Coco is gonna be streaming Squawk Cube, so we'll probably just raid Mark Coco then after this then. But so great results overall. The CKL's feeling really close. NRC's feeling close as well. So College Mario Kart's in a great spot right now, which is awesome. You love to see that at this point where you don't have teams just running away. It really does feel like a lot of different teams can win each division. And even in the divisions where the results are a bit more lopsided, there's like at least 2 teams who are really close together. You'll get that in D6 between Buena Vista and like New Mexico State. D5 is looking interesting there. I'm looking at UTSA and Idaho, for example, and a few other names there. D4 is looking good. You have UCSD2, CSULB, Arizona, Florida. Over half the division feels like contenders. D3 is solid as well. NC State and Nebraska. Awesome teams there. And Tennessee, with those results lately, never know. Never know. My playoff pictures? Okay, let me think about this. I think D6 is kind of set. We're going to be seeing NMSU and Buena Vista in some order, 1 and 2. Then the 3rd seed is going to be Auburn. Looking at D5, I'm thinking about this right now, and it's I'm leaning UTSA. I think they're gonna clutch up the rest of the season. They take the 1 seed. I think Idaho might actually take 2, and then maybe a hot take, but I'm feeling EKU. Am I thinking EKU? Let me think about this for a bit. Am I leaning you Eastern Kentucky? I really want to say Inside Lane because personal region bias for me, but there's something about EKU this season which is like they're new but they're deep, and I really like that. I noticed them up is like always like 6 in Indivs, which is kind of funny. So yeah, D5. I'm thinking UTSA. I think UI, EKU, and then and then like Milwaukee. I feel like they're a season away from making a playoff run. Kutztown Inside Lane. I'm waiting for them to make a big win before I change my mind on them. I want it to happen, and then ASU. I don't know if it's happening this season, but I could be very wrong in the next few weeks. D4 is hard. It's very hard. I think CSULB for sure. That's not even a definite. CSULB, Arizona. I think Florida's consistent enough to make it in. UCSD2 is consistent to make it in. It's hard because I think Michigan too has a very realistic shot to make it in as well. Utah's close. Utah could realistically win. I think the winner of Utah-Florida makes a playoff spot, which is crazy to think about. But I think that's legitimately one of the matches you're going to watch for there. I don't think Iona has it in them this season, unfortunately. FIU Gold Sim both. But I'm looking at CSULB, UCSD2, Arizona, and then the winner of Florida, Utah. I'm leaning towards Florida right now, but if Utah wins, Utah wins. D3 playoff picture. Unfortunately, West Georgia, I think, is kind of in a rough spot. So, on paper, they would have made it in, I think. But, like, right now, NC State and Nebraska, 2 amazing teams so far in that division. I have to look at the standings when those come out then, because New Mexico's having it rough, West Georgia's having it rough. So then that leaves 4 teams. Golden Mains are close. I think they could. I really want RIT to make it into playoffs in their first season. I think it's going to be Nebraska, NC State winning conference. I'm going to go RIT, and I'm going to go Tennessee. I think those teams have shown a lot of potential so far. And Rochester, I think, is a team. I'm biased as heck, I guess, for Rochester because I'm really rooting for them, it looks like. But I think they have a shot to maybe even make it in the finals, which is crazy to think about. Maybe not. I think they're going to have to get some luck with that. But they feel like a team of destiny type of thing, where it's like, if they just have a hot run going into playoffs, I think RIT could legitimately make some noise in a postseason if they make it there. D2, quick and easy for me so far. It's Maryland, it's Georgia. Virginia Tech, I think, is playing way too good after that first week to count them out. And then it comes down to that 4th seed. UWO is really close. UCLA is good so far. That 5v6 win, or 65 win against Georgia was shaky, but it's a win. And UCLA's other win was against Morgan, which was forfeit. So it's a matter of waiting on UCLA results. If I'm gonna lean anywhere, maybe a hot take. It depends. Okay, one, it depends on if Alabama gets Jay playing. If Jay plays the rest of the season, then that changes a lot. Michigan State might make some noise. Western had a rough week, but I think they didn't have a rough week. They beat Morgan. Western might actually sneak in the playoffs. They had a relatively decent result against Maryland, and then they beat Michigan State. Fighting for that 4th seed is going to be close, but I think UWO might be able to make it in. And D1's a mess. D1's an absolute dumpster fire, because I want to say UCSD and Michigan on the Conference B end, but then it feels like every team in Conference A has a realistic shot to make it in, which is awesome. Waterloo's playing good, and I think Waterloo's going to make it in. I can see them winning the conference outright. And then it depends. FIU get back on their feet, because if not, I think Kutztown actually makes it in. But if Oklahoma decides to steal some wins, then Oklahoma's in. But that's the playoff picture I have so far. I think next week's gonna give a lot of great results, but we'll get to that point when we get there. Let's start the raid then. I'm gonna end stream. Marco